Yeah, only in Germany do they, you know, ride trolleys and bikes while they, you know, get drunk. So that was pretty awesome.
Hallo zusammen bei die Filmfabrik. Es ist wieder Zeit für ein Interview-Special zu Dracula Untold. Ich habe die beiden Hauptdarsteller in Berlin getroffen und was daraus geworden ist, das seht ihr hier.
Hi, it's a pleasure to meet you. Vlad has to give up his soul to rescue his family. Have you ever made sacrifice to reach a higher goal?
Yes, lots. I think it's...
Tell me!
Not sure whether I want to. But I think sacrifice is something everybody has to deal with in life. I think it's something you deal with. It's a very human trait, and I think everybody has to experience sacrifice in a certain form. I mean, I've done it through my life, and sacrifice living in one place for a long time because of a job, having to give up my life and move to a country and do a movie for 5 months, 6 months, whatever. But sacrifice isn't always a bad thing. I think sacrifice sometimes means that you have to dig deeper into yourself and you sometimes discover things about yourself. And I think this character, very much so, you see him by the decisions he makes in his life. You see him having to come to terms with this creature that he's turning into. You know, it's quite interesting.
You know, well, especially, you know, with this job, you work so hard and you travel so much and you don't really have a normal life. But, you know, I love film and I love movies and I love movie making, and so you just kind of do it and you gain different things in a different way.
Ich warte schon seit einer Ewigkeit auf einen Mann deiner Stärke. Was für ein Mann betritt sein eigenes Grab auf der Suche nach Hoffnung?
Ein Verzweifelter.
And social media is getting more and more important to promote a movie. What kind of type are you? Are you the Twitter girl or more the analog Sarah? What do you think?
I'm an Instagram fanatic.
Yeah?
I love Instagram. I am much more of an Instagram person than I am a Twitter person, although I had both. But I think that Instagram to me is about it's been
favorite
really great.
Filter?
Because my favorite filter. I Snapseed my pictures before I put them up on Instagram. But I like Hudson. Hudson's a great filter for me.
Valencia.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew that.
It's exciting because I use social media sometimes on the release of a movie, you know, and the people that follow me on Twitter get to see stuff that the rest of the world don't see as quickly. So it works very well, and it's nice. I like to have that interaction with my fans. I think it's a really special thing. Obviously, it takes up too much of my time because you could spend hours on Twitter or Instagram or whatever else that I've got going on. But no, I think it's good. I think it's really good. I think this movie has had a real heat about it because of social media, especially has helped the buzz, which is great, and it'll keep on doing that.
Besides all the entertainment stuff, you have historical references in this story because of Vlad. He really existed, and he was a very ambivalent character. How did you prepare your own performance with all that knowledge about this character?
Well, I read a lot of books on Vlad and about the history and about the time in history when he lived and what was going on. It was a very turbulent time. He was constantly... His country was very small. It was called Wallachia, and it was constantly being invaded by different surrounding countries, and then the Ottoman Empire was just sort of sweeping through. So it's very interesting that we were going to use all this historical knowledge and base the beginning of the story on this very historical story. Story, I'm saying. So I was able to just really sort of just dig deep into the human character and give him relatability. I want people to understand him. May not agree with his choices, but at least you'd understand why he makes these choices in his life, and see that he really does love his family. He loves his wife, and he cares for his son so much, and also for his people. He wants to succeed. He wants to reign over a peaceful land. He's had a dark side. He's got a dark side to him, but he's given that up, and now he's reigned for a 10-year period of peace. And then the Turks come in just to ruin him. So it's a very interesting story watching a man develop.
Die Türken drohen mein Reich zu zerstören. Sie sind schon ganz nah. Mit deinen Kräften könnte ich mein Volk retten. Und meine Familie.
Deine Rettung liegt in der Dunkelheit und all ihrer Macht.
It's lots about freedom and independence, and Independence and freedom is a very current topic in the world of politics and even war today. Your character has to pay very much for that. So what kind of price for freedom is worth it to pay?
I don't know. I don't know. It's we are very lucky to, you and I and the people in this room are very lucky to live in a free world, and we take it for granted. I take it for granted probably every day of my life. And it's only sometimes when you turn on the news and you watch the troubles in throughout the world, and you just realize, you know, how lucky we are. So freedom is a very precious thing, and if anything, we should be very lucky and appreciate our freedom more than we do.
Well, I think for Morena, I think that anything is, she will do anything. She will do whatever it takes to reach freedom and to find safety in her love with Vlad. But I think that that's the thing, that really interesting thing about being an actor, is that you have to have a lot of compassion, and you have to have compassion because you need to relate and become these different characters. And I think when I was doing this role, it made me think a lot about, you know, love and what does true love mean. And I think true love is about sacrifice in a lot of ways, because it's about putting somebody else before yourself. And I think that that's a really great kind of message that this film has, and I think that's a wonderful sentiment in regards to freedom. Is often we think freedom is about ourselves, it's about the individual, but really freedom is about, you know, it's about the greater good, and it's about sacrificing for somebody else.
Du wirst stark sein wie 100 Männer. Und über die Nacht und all ihre Kreaturen herrschen.
Zu welchem Preis?
Du weißt gar nichts. Aber ich werde es dir zeigen. Trink.
You said it's cinema history because of lots of movies, but what would you say people who would tell you, Dracula, really? Another one? What would you tell them?
I would say don't say that. No, but I think our film, Dracula Untold, is really an origin film. So it's about stripping back all of the mythology that's been created around this kind of legend, Dracula, and really discovering the man behind that myth, the man behind that legend. And I think Luke really embodies this incredibly complex, tortured, wonderful man behind this legend. And I think that that's what people are really going to love about the film, is that there's a realism, a history behind this person.
Well, I said the same thing. I said, no, I'm not doing another Dracula movie. They've been done. And then I read the script and realized it wasn't another Dracula movie. It's the origin story. It's about the man. It's about the actual historical figure that walked this earth. And that's why it's different. That's why it tells a story that no one is expecting. What's nice is when I hear people go, I wasn't expecting that. That's completely taken me off guard. And I think that's what I want. That's what we want.
Was geschieht mit dir?
Ich habe es gewählt.
Aber wieso?
Weil sich Männer nicht vor Schwertern fürchten. Er kommt. Sie fürchten Monster.
Ich erkenne dich nicht wieder.
Nennt ihr das Leben? Nur weil ihr kämpfen könnt? Ihr lebt, weil ich entschieden habe, euch zu retten!
And before our interview began, you told me you've been to Cologne for a shooting. So what kind of experience you had in Cologne? Because it's my hometown and I love it so much.
I love Cologne. Cologne is an incredible place. The people in Cologne were amazing. I made a lot of good friends there. I think that for me it was fun because we were shooting 4 years ago. It was World Cup, and I had never really experienced a World Cup in Europe, let alone in Germany. And I was so amazed at those beer carts. They're like bicycle trolleys that people ride around on. And they get so drunk, but while they're biking these major, you know, these trolleys around, and the first one I saw it, I was like, what is going on that? And I was like, oh yeah, only in Germany do they, you know, ride trolleys and bikes. Well, you know, get drunk. So that was pretty awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Vergiss nie, wer ich bin.
Ich fand es auf jeden Fall zauberhaft, die beiden treffen zu können. Hat mir sehr, sehr gut gefallen. Vor allem, dass Sarah Gaden sich so an Köln erinnern konnte. Das mag ich sehr. Und dann hat sie 1000 Bonuspunkte bei mir für immer und ewig sicher. Wenn ihr wissen wollt, wie der Film ist, checkt die Review hier unten links. Wer jetzt aber mehr Lust auf eine Serie hat, True Detective, gibt es unten rechts. Das passt auf jeden Fall. Der kam nämlich Samstag, gab es auch mal eine Serie. Und dann sehen wir uns gerne wieder bei einer neuen Kritik hier bei Die Filmfabrik mit mir, dem Dominik.